This is DD India and you're watching Express News, a program where we bring you top 100 news of the day. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Let's begin. In line with his commitment to develop world-class air infrastructure and enhancing connectivity, Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the 81st Annual General Meeting of the International Air Transport Association, IATA, in New Delhi today. During the event, Prime Minister said that the success of the Udaan scheme is a golden chapter in India's civil aviation, highlighting that India is the world's third largest domestic aviation market. Paraguay President Santiago Peña Palacios received a ceremonial welcome and a guard of honor as he arrived in India on a 3-day visit on Monday. During the visit, President Peña met Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the Hyderabad House in New Delhi. Paraguay's president held discussion with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and reviewed the entire gamut of bilateral relations. Both the leaders held delegation-level talks at the Hyderabad House. This is the first visit of President Peña to India and only the second visit by a president of Paraguay to India. During the bilateral meeting, Prime Minister Narendra Modi highlighted the significance of the visit as a strong reflection of Paraguay's commitment to strengthening mutual ties. Later, in a press briefing, the Ministry of External Affairs Secretary East P. Kumaran said that the two leaders held a comprehensive discussion on the entire spectrum of bilateral ties, including trade and investment, health and pharmaceuticals, defense and security, infrastructure, mining, among others. He also said that President Santiago Peña Palacios has invited the Prime Minister to visit the Latin American nation, Paraguay. Earlier, Paraguay President also visited Rajghat and paid floral tributes to Father of the Nation, Mahatma Gandhi. President Draupadi Murmu and Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar extended their greetings to the people of Telangana on the occasion of their Statehood Day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also greeted people of Telangana on their Statehood Day. In a social media post, Prime Minister said that the state is known for making innumerable contributions to national progress. The all-party delegation led by DMK MP Kanimuri in Madrid, Spain, met with a delegation of senators of the Spanish Senate and senior officials of the government of Spain. Earlier today, the delegation also met the Association of Victims of Terrorism in Madrid. The high-level delegation led by Member of Indian Parliament Sanjay Kumar Jha is in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The delegation met Malaysian Indian Congress representatives led by Tan Sri Vigneswaran. Another all-party parliamentary delegation led by Member of Indian Parliament Ravi Shankar Prasad interacted with London think tanks. Over 3,961 active cases of COVID-19 have been reported across the country. According to the Health and Family Welfare Ministry, the highest number of 1,435 cases have been recorded in Kerala, followed by 506 cases in Maharashtra and 483 cases in Delhi. Indian Institute of Technology IIT Kanpur announced the JEE Advanced Results 2025 today. Rajit Gupta from IIT Delhi zone has emerged as the All India topper, securing the top rank with a total score of 332 out of 360. The Government of India has approved a forward-looking scheme to promote the domestic manufacturing of passenger cars with a strong emphasis on electric vehicles. On to business news now. Indian benchmark equity indices ended on a negative note in a volatile session on Monday. At close, the Sensex at the BSE declined 77 points to settle at 81,374. The Nifty at the National Stock Exchange dropped 34 points to settle at 24,717. Gold futures maturing on June 5th were priced at 96,136 rupees per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for July 4th maturity stood at 97,968 rupees per kilo on the MCX. At the Forex market, Indian rupee rose 17 paise to settle at 85 rupees 38 paise against the US dollar on Monday. Oil prices jumped by about 3% on Monday after producer group OPEC Plus kept output increases in July at the same level as the previous 2 months. Brent crude futures rose 2.7% to $64.52 a barrel, while US crude was up 3.2% at $62.73 a barrel. US stocks and the dollar fell on Monday as US-China trade tensions escalated and investors turned defensive ahead of a widely expected US jobs data and European interest rate cuts. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon has sounded the alarm on a potential US debt market crisis, citing the Trump administration's economic policies as a major contributor. US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent downplayed Dimon's concerns, noting that while he is worried about debt levels, the deficit is expected to decrease over the next 2 years. India's Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal is on a 3-day visit to France to strengthen economic ties and explore investment opportunities with global partners. The minister held productive bilateral talks on trade, market access and strategic partnerships and is scheduled to meet executives from major firms, highlighting India's commitment to deepening global economic engagement. At least 7 people were killed and 69 injured when a highway bridge in Russia's Bryansk region was blown up over a passenger train heading to Moscow, with 388 people on board. Ukraine attacked Russian nuclear-capable long-range bombers at a military base deep in Siberia on Sunday. Ukraine's domestic intelligence service, the SBU, acknowledged it carried out the attack, codenamed Operation Spider's Web. As per Ukraine, a total of 41 Russian warplanes were hit. In retaliation, Russia launched 472 drones at Ukraine overnight and also launched 7 missiles. Despite the intensified fighting, Russian and Ukrainian officials concluded their second round of direct peace talks on Monday in the Turkish city of Istanbul. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and leaders of NATO's Eastern and Nordic members gathered in Vilnius. President Zelensky said that a meeting with his Russian and US counterparts could resolve key issues of the ongoing conflict. A proposal by US President Donald Trump's Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff is being worked out from all sides for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. The Joint People's Movement Committee for Monarchy and Hindu State in Nepal has called off the shutdown program of Kathmandu Valley to be held on Monday, issuing a press release signed by committee coordinator Navaraj Subedi. The program has been withdrawn. In a move to increase defense capabilities, Britain has announced to increase the size of its nuclear-powered attack submarine fleet on Monday. Mexicans voted in Mexico City in the first-ever judicial elections. The vote will choose 2,600 judges, including Supreme Court justices. The reform was led by López Obrador and Claudia Sheinbaum. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum voted in the first-ever judicial elections as part of a reform aimed at fighting corruption and letting people choose their judges. South Koreans will vote on Tuesday to elect their next leader after months of political turmoil, with candidates targeting young voters and polls showing Lee Jae-myung in the lead. Polish nationalist Karol Nawrocki won the presidential election's second round with 50.89% of the vote, dealing a blow to pro-European government's reform plans. About 1,000 protested silently in Hungary's Budapest against a bill targeting foreign-funded media and groups. Backed by Prime Minister Orban, the bill could shut down organizations seen as threats. Hundreds protested in Belgrade and 30 other Serbian cities, demanding justice for the deadly Novi Sad roof collapse and calling out government corruption. The Federal Bureau of Investigation is investigating a targeted terror attack near Boulder's Pearl Street Mall, where multiple people were set on fire during a march supporting Israeli hostages. The FBI said 6 victims aged between 67 to 88 were hospitalized after the Boulder attack. The arrested suspect, 45-year-old Mohammed Suleiman, was also hospitalized shortly after the incident. Sudan's new Prime Minister, Kamil Idris, dissolved the caretaker government amid ongoing army-RSF clashes and pledged stability. Appointed after the 2021 coup, Idris pledged neutrality and focused on stability. Chilean President Gabriel Boric backed an arms embargo on Israel, pledging to ban imports from what he called illegally occupied territories and support Spain's efforts. We're heading for a short break here in Express News. We'll be back in just a bit. Stay tuned to DD India.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. Let's resume. The southwest monsoon's onset in northeast India triggered flash floods and landslides across 5 states, killing multiple people and displacing thousands. Continuous rains in Assam, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur and Tripura have collapsed buildings, washed away roads and disrupted rescue efforts amid red alerts from the India Meteorological Department. The India Meteorological Department forecasts continued thunderstorms and rainfall across Delhi and the national capital region until Tuesday, signalling ongoing weather disturbances. Delhi experienced partly cloudy skies and a mild minimum temperature of 27.2 degrees Celsius on Monday, continuing an unusual pattern of mild May weather with no intense heat waves so far this year. In northern Sikkim, the Border Roads Organization launched Project Swastik to restore roads and bridges in the Gangtok, Chuangtang and Chuangtang Lachen sectors after heavy rainfall and a cloud burst caused severe damage and raising the Tista River by 35 to 40 feet. The Border Roads Organization BRO teams are working to restore vital roads while evacuations are underway in Sikkim's Lachung and Mangan, where landslides and floods stranded many people, including tourists. Deadly flash floods in the Nigerian town of Mokwa have killed at least 150 people and destroyed over 250 buildings following torrential rains Wednesday night into Thursday. Residents described how long-standing buildings were swept away by this year's unusually heavy rains and floods, resulting in significant loss of life and property. A glacier collapse in Switzerland's Valais region caused massive debris to block the Lonza River, creating an artificial lake that submerged the village of Blatten. Authorities report that the artificial lake formed by the debris started to drain, alleviating some of the flooding concerns in Blatten. Dutch pianist Nicolas Meuveau-Sen has won the Queen Elizabeth competition. The 23-year-old was applauded by the crowd, Dutch Princess Eleanor and the Belgian Queen Mathilde. Meuveau-Sen impressed the jury with Prokofiev's second concerto. Japanese pianist Wataru Hisasu came second, while Belgian Valère Bernon was placed third. Muslim pilgrims performed tawaf at Makkah's Grand Mosque. Saudi Arabia is preparing to receive over 1 million Hajj pilgrims this summer. North Korea marked International Children's Day with the celebrations in Pyongyang. Children took part in games and dances across the capital. At Tai Songgon Pleasure Park, kids played a tug of war and danced with families and teachers. June 1st is observed globally as International Children's Day. An international seminar on health education was held at the Webster University in Tashkent. It focused on developing nursing programs based on US academic standards. Experts discussed global trends, new technologies and career opportunities in nursing. The event marked a key step in advancing nursing education in Uzbekistan. Near the Fukushima disaster site in Japan, a 25-year-old tends kiwi saplings under the spring sun. He is part of efforts to revive farming in the region. On Australia's south coast, one of the country's first community-owned wind farms is set to expand. The Denmark wind farm has powered the town for 10 years. But federal funding has fallen short, leaving local battery projects unsupported. Analysts say energy aid isn't reaching rural areas that need it the most. The Distinguished Gentleman's Ride took place in Chile's Santiago, where thousands of bikers joined to support prostate cancer and men's mental health. Tomatoes flew through the air as Gran Tomatina Colombia returned in Sutamarchan. Revelers hurled overripe tomatoes in a joyful food fight. The festival honors Sutamarchan's tomato-based economy. Around 20,000 visitors joined, with 45 tons of tomatoes used over 3 days, informed the mayor. In northern Colombia, the town of Bucaramanga turned a main street into a giant slide. Locals and visitors joined the fun on Sunday, which is now an annual tradition. Once known for the conflict, the town now promotes joy and tourism. The event began as a promise by the mayor and gained fame through social media. On to entertainment news now. Tamil film director Vikram Sugumaran died of a cardiac arrest on Sunday while returning from Madurai to Chennai. Bollywood actor Amir Khan has said that his long-awaited project Mahabharata might be his final film. Speaking on a podcast, he revealed his plans to fully focus on it after Sitari Zameen Par gets released. Production house Dharma responded to allegations against homebound cinematographer Pratik Shah, stating that he was a freelancer and no formal complaints were received by their internal committee. The trailer for the third and final season of the Korean series Squid Game was released on Sunday. The highly anticipated season is set to premiere on June 27th. American pop star Taylor Swift announced that she now owns the master recordings of her first 6 albums after buying them from Shamrock Capital. Karate Kid Legends opened below expectations in North America with a $21 million debut, despite featuring Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan. Global earnings for the film reached $47 million. Despite the soft opening, Sony remained confident in Karate Kid Legends, citing an A cinema score and strong audience exits. The film's modest $45 million production budget also supports hopes for success. Guillermo del Toro unveiled the first trailer for its adaptation of Frankenstein during Netflix's To Doom event, offering a fresh take on Mary Shelley's classic monster tale. The film stars Oscar Isaac as Victor Frankenstein and Jacob Elordi as the monster, alongside a cast that includes Mia Goth, Christoph Waltz and Charles Dance. British comedian Ricky Gervais received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in the television category, calling his success a cocktail of luck, persistence and a little bit of pushing against the tide. And on to sporting action now. South Africa batter Heinrich Klaasen has retired from all forms of international cricket on Monday as he aims to strike a work-life balance. Australian all-rounder Glenn Maxwell announced his retirement from one-day international cricket on Monday to focus on next year's T20 World Cup in India and Sri Lanka. Maxwell played 149 ODI matches for Australia, scoring 3,990 runs. He also took 77 wickets. Former England pacer Stuart Broad will join South Africa's coaching staff as a consultant for the WTC final against Australia starting June 11th. Punjab Kings defeated Mumbai Indians by 5 wickets in the second qualifier to book a spot in the IPL 2025 final. Captain Shreyas Iyer led from the front with an unbeaten 87-run knock as Punjab Kings chased down 204-run target in Ahmedabad. Punjab Kings will take on Royal Challengers Bengaluru in the Indian Premier League final in Ahmedabad on Tuesday. In tennis, Russian teenager Mira Andreeva became the youngest player to reach back-to-back French Open quarterfinals in nearly 3 decades after she defeated Daria Kasatkina. World number 1 Yannick Sinner dropped only 3 games in a ruthless performance as he crushed Jiří Lehecka 6-0, 6-1, 6-2 to reach the 4th round of the French Open. Defending champion Carlos Alcaraz overcame American Ben Shelton 7-6, 6-3, 4-6, 6-4 for his 100th tour-level win to reach the French Open quarterfinals for a 4th successive year. World number 2 Coco Gauff came through a shaky second set against Czech's Marie Buzkova to earn a 6-1, 7-6 victory at the French Open. World champion Diku Keish defeated world number 1 Magnus Carlsen for the first time in his career in the 6th round of the Norway chess tournament. French President Emmanuel Macron held a reception for Paris Saint-Germain at the Élysée Palace after they won the Champions League for the first time in history. India concluded its campaign at the Ulaanbaatar Open Wrestling Ranking Series in Mongolia with 21 medals, including 6 gold, 7 silver and 8 bronze. And Formula One Championship leader Oscar Piastri won the Spanish Grand Prix to forge 10 points clear of teammate Lando Norris in the title battle. So that's it in this edition of Express News. Thank you for tuning in. Namaskar.